Hey, this is Jessica with Food Foundation, and today I'm going to make the best tea to combat inflammation. Today we're going to be working with fresh turmeric, so you're absolutely going to want to wear an apron so that you don't get stains on your clothes. What I love about finding fresh turmeric in the stores is that its bright yellow antioxidant rich compounds are so obvious. They look like little pieces of ginger. And so I'm going to make this turmeric tea with other roots that are similar, like ginger, and I'm going to add galangal root. You might have heard of galangal root, which is sometimes in a Thai soup. So first things first, you want to grate the turmeric so that we can add it to the turmeric tea. The peel, you can peel it if you want to. I'm not really going to bother. But look at this beautiful orange, deep, rich color. This is going to make your tea beautiful and frothy and yellow. And we're going to get to the compound that is so intensely anti-inflammatory, and that is curcumin. You might have heard of it. Everybody's taking curcumin these days. And this is the fresh turmeric with curcumin, which is the antioxidant compound that reduces inflammation. So you can do the same thing with the ginger. You can add many spices that have similar chai flavors, but ginger is also an immune modulator and can reduce inflammation. Since we're trying to make this tea specifically to reduce inflammation, I'm going to use ginger. And as I said before, I'm going to use galangal root, which also has anti-inflammatory properties. Already these spices are starting to have a real strong fragrance. Galangal has sort of a citrusy, peppery flavor. Ginger has that heat that you're probably familiar with. And turmeric, it's a very mild flavor. If you didn't have fresh turmeric, you could obviously use this ground spice. So if you were using the dried spices, you'd use about a teaspoon of dried turmeric. Dried turmeric has that bright yellow color. You could use about a half teaspoon of dried ginger. I don't have dried galangal root, but other things you could add that would be beautiful flavors to mix would be cinnamon, cardamom, clove. Any of these can help add more antioxidants and help us reduce inflammation. So whether you're using fresh or dried, we're going to go ahead and add them to the pot. The measurements are not really that important. It's not an exact science. With fresh, I'm using about 2 to 3 teaspoons. Dried is going to be a little bit more potent, so about 1 teaspoon. 2, your milks. You can see it's very stain-worthy. I'll be right back. The final spice, which is an absolute must to add, is black peppercorn. Now don't worry, adding a little bit of heat is not going to make this an unsweet tea. We're going to add a little bit of sweetener in the end, but black peppercorn is so important because piperine, the compound in the peppercorn, can absolutely enhance absorption of the curcumin, the component in turmeric. It's really hard to absorb curcumin in the human GI. It's a fat-soluble compound, and we want to make sure that we add piperine. So just about 2 or 3 peppercorns, and I'm going to give them a little crunch. Using a little pestle, just give them a little crunch to open them up, really release the compounds. And then we're going to add the milk. I'm going to use a coconut milk, and I'm not going to use the coconut milk that comes in a box or a nut milk. A nut milk would also be a great option if you make them yourself, but sometimes these contain all sorts of little ingredients that can cause inflammation. Preservatives, additives, gums. This is the best thing I can find that is so simple. The ingredients are simply organic coconut milk, organic coconut filtered water. No guar gum, no additives. So I'm going to use this. Being a fat-rich compound, it's going to help absorb that fat-soluble compound of the curcumin that's really hard to absorb in a water-based tea in the human GI. You don't have to worry about the thick coconut milk parts. It's all going to melt into the tea. We're gonna go ahead and bring this to a simmer. All right, I'm going to go ahead and filter this tea since I used all of the fresh and grated spices, and I don't want to have big fragments. I heated it up just so that it was nice and beautiful, yellow and frothy. And then feel free to sweeten your tea. You want to enjoy it, and though I love the spices and flavors, sometimes just a little bit of raw honey will bring out the sweet, delicious taste. Make sure that you're not adding sugar. Remember, we're trying to reduce inflammation, and adding sugar immediately inflames the body. So just a little bit of local honey will help to sweeten it without adding harmful inflammatory compounds. I hope you try this best tea for inflammation. Try making it with fresh turmeric if you can find it. Make it from scratch with your favorite spices and enjoy. Thanks for watching.